Howdy folks, I want to show you a real-life demo of digital mobile radio on the VHF band, the 2-meter band, in action today from my truck on a mobile radio and from a handheld radio. And from the handheld radio, I was 10 miles from the repeater and I was going through a rock mountain. So my signal had to travel over that mountain to reach the repeater. And I'm going to show you that it worked. And then I'm going to give you some food for thought to think about. So let's get to it.
Inside flea market is huge. Then you got small dealers selling stuff. Cool. I bought a Icon 718 for $300. Used, mint condition. All they didn't have was a box and a manual.
Oh yeah, sometimes you can find some good used equipment. I have old Yaesu rig at home. Dates back to 1994. That's what I use primary on HF for sideband. I'm the second owner. And oh, that thing is a tank. She goes strong. She's a rugged radio. I think I paid $200 for it years ago. But she's solid, man. What kind of question do you have? And we'll see if I'm smart or dumb.
Okay, well, let's say, do I dare say it's an 11-meter question? I've got a CB radio that belonged to my father, an old unit in Washington radio. Never been turned on. And just trying to figure out the cheapest way and the best way to do a homebrew antenna.
Oh no, you brought up the chickie bander. 100 lashes with a wet noodle. Well, cheap way, simple way would just be build a 11-meter dipole and string it up vertical. That's quick and cheap and simple. Yep. It seems to work pretty well. I'm actually out here in the tulle weeds where there is no cell coverage, and seeing if I can pick up a partridge or a turkey this afternoon. See what happens, or doesn't. You know, one chance in two, I guess. So it's nice to have some coverage out here.
Are you on an HT right now?
Nope, I'm in the mobile. I can try the HT.
It sounded just fine.
You gotta be joking me. Yeah, I just literally stopped and got out of the truck. I've got a full signal return from the repeater, and I'm gonna guess I'm probably pushing 12 to 13 miles from the repeater out here in the woods. So, yep, there is no cell coverage, but hey, this works.
My dashboard says you had 19% loss, but it sounded more like 2% at most.
That ain't bad, man.
Yeah, so I'll still have the red Canada while we do whatever's going to happen over there in 20 meters. How's that sound? Okay, that'll give me a chance to tune up here and check my SWR. So, give me a few minutes and okay.
Hey Kevin, I'm back in the truck now on the mobile radio. So, yeah, I'll run a plot from where I'm at back to the repeater. When I get home, I'll check it on Google Earth, see just exactly what's in the way too. I know I'm out behind a big mountain. And I think it might be in the way too, but hey, it's working. So yeah, if I disappear on you guys, I'm out trying to chase a bird down. So, yep, it's pretty cool that out here where nothing else is working, you know, this works. This guy that I'm talking to on a handheld radio with 5 watts of power is in Massachusetts. And I was guessing off the top of my head, as you could tell, I thought I was about 12 miles from the repeater. Using Google Earth, point to point, I knew where I was out on that dirt road there. It says 10.3 miles. Okay, so we'll go with 10 miles, round it off. And I knew I was out on the back side of that mountain somewhere. Okay. So, 10 miles from me to the repeater. That mountain is in between us, and it's closest to me. So, I had to get over that mountain with my signal. What does Google Earth show? Take a look. On the left, you see my point. That's where I was. I've already done the conversions here for feet. Now, this is feet above average sea level. We don't care about average sea level. Sea level doesn't matter. It's height above average terrain. That's what matters here with RF. So, but still, my height above sea level, my elevation was roughly 344 feet. So I've already done some math here for you. The top of the mountain, where that yellow line goes across, was 1,070 feet above sea level. Okay. To the tower, its height above sea level, figuring tower height from ground height plus the tower height, about 340 feet above sea level. All right, so you figure this all out. We do the math. My elevation, ground elevation, the tower's elevation to the antenna, so my profile on the ground, the antenna profile, we're just about even. Okay, so think of my head as the mountain, right? Yeah, it's pretty thick like a mountain sometime. My signal from this elevation had to go, what did I write down? 726 feet up over this mountain and then get back down to this elevation over a distance of 10 miles. Think about that. With 5 watts of power on VHF, this elevation, it's not going through that rock pile. It's not going around the rock pile back to the antenna. It had to go up and over that rock pile, 726 feet, because that's the difference of my elevation to the top of the mountain and back down to get down to that antenna. Remember, the antenna roughly is the same height that I'm at, and I did it. And the fellow in Massachusetts with DMR, because it's digital, he was actually looking at what's called the dashboard, the monitor. He was looking at our conversation online, and when he was talking about 19% data loss, packet loss, I didn't have a 100% signal in the repeater. I had some packet loss, but he said it sounded like maybe 2%. So it was sounding better than what the computer, because it's digital, was logging me. I was solid into the system with a little dinky 5-watt handheld going over that frickin' mountain and hitting a repeater 10 miles away. Think about that. How cool is that to be able to do that? And that was crystal clear. Can you do that with GMRS or FRS? Can you do that with MERS? Can you do that with a CB? Can you do that with any of these other radio services? I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to show you real life. This is real. This is not commercials. This is not advertising. This is not me trying to sell you a product. This is the real deal. And if you want something that does work over distance through rugged terrain, I just showed you 10 miles, 5 watts on a rubber ducky through trees over a 726 foot mountain. The mountain is taller than that from sea level, but like I said, the sea level doesn't matter. We're going my elevation over the ground elevation of the mountain at that point, roughly 726 to the antenna. That's pretty impressive. That is very impressive. And for him to be on the other end looking at my signal loss rate and telling me in real time what it is, and telling me in real time what I'm actually sounding like on the other end, saying, you know, it's basically gangbusters, and you're hearing it for yourself. You're hearing him. You're hearing him say it. You're not hearing me interpret him. You're hearing it yourself. How do you get it any better than that? On your other radio services like your CB, your MERS, your GMRS, your FRS, you do not have these options of digital. You cannot do these types of things. You are very, very limited to what you can do. You're limited on your bands, you're limited on your power, you're limited on your range, you're limited on your modes. You can't go digital. You can't push data. You're stuck with analog. There's nothing wrong with analog. But what you just heard is digital. You also cannot link up to a digital network like you just heard here. You can't expand. Things to think about here, folks. So depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you might want to be considering ham radio.